Are you moving from offline coaching into online coaching? Today, I'm going to share with you the 2 must-haves in order to create your online coaching business. All right, welcome back. I want to share with you what you must have if you're going from offline coaching to online coaching. This has been a very popular topic lately, especially with the whole stay home phenomena and the idea. I just got a message. My Uber Eats is here. And I just asked them to drop it off at the front door. But that's the point. Like right now, we're doing a lot to stay home and we're trying to make sure we're social distancing. And that phenomena might stay in place for several months to come. So with that said, is it important for you to take your offline coaching business and bring it online? And how do you do that? Before I get into that, I want to say welcome to any newbies that are here. If you are a newbie, I want to encourage you to stick around because I share branding and marketing tips to help you grow your revenue so that you can create your very own version of a lavish life. Be sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because I also do a live training every single Saturday, digging deeper into these topics and also hearing from you what videos you'd like for me to do next. So with that said, what are the 2 things? Well, they both start with an S. The first one is sales process and the second one is sales system. So what does this look like? First, you have to have a sales process. Because you're not meeting people in person, you're not necessarily going to networking events, you're definitely not shaking hands. It's important to have an online sales system so that you can bring clients into your online coaching business. So what does an online sales process look like? So you got 3 steps to a successful online sales process. The first step is understanding where your ideal client hangs out. So I'm assuming that you already have an ideal client avatar. If you don't already have an ideal client avatar, I just recorded a video helping you to figure out who your ideal client avatar is. If it's not published yet, just hit subscribe so you'll know when it's coming. If it is, I will link to it right up here. So you got to know your ideal client. Once you know your ideal client, then you want to figure out where they hang out online. Now, there are certain what's sometimes called fishing holes or where your ideal client may hang out. That might be in specific Facebook groups. That might be in, certain forums on Reddit. That might be on particular blogs. That might be in the comment section of certain YouTube videos. But you got to know where your ideal client hangs out online. Taking your offline coaching business online opens like an entire world because instead of just working with clients locally, well, now you can work with clients all over the world. But that also means you've got competition from everyone else that already knows how to do this. So you've got to get up to speed really quickly, but I'm going to help you. Okay. So once you know where your ideal client hangs out online, the next thing that you want to do to create that sales process is figure out, okay, what's my hook? What is my bait? What is that thing that I'm going to share with them that's going to get them excited? That's going to get them to listen, pay attention, and join my community, join my email list, get on my distribution list so that I can have that conversation with them. The problem that people run into is that when they go from offline to online, they skip some steps. The online sales process is actually just a little bit longer than maybe an offline one where someone can meet you in person and they get that vibe and then they just pretty much can sign up right away. Even though that sales process is a little bit longer, a lot of it happens behind the scenes or without you even realizing that it's happening. And when you've got those things in place where it's sort of happening behind the scenes, they're figuring out who you are, they're learning about you, like you don't realize that it's happening. So it seems that people are just popping up on your calendar and scheduling a call or reaching out to you and asking for help. But the online process of someone getting to know you and getting to trust you can be a little bit longer than that offline process. So instead of going to those forums or going to the Facebook groups and trying to have a conversation and like right away get someone to book a call, what you want to do first is you want to get them on your email list. The best way to do this is to share one good solid piece of content so that when you share that solid piece of content, like a webinar. They'll be able to watch that training. They'll know exactly who you are, why they should work with you, and the problem that you solve, why you're best at it, and they'll know the next steps in order to get started with you. So in your conversations in these groups or forums, you're not asking someone to immediately book a call. You're just saying, hey, I just did a full training on that. If you'd like, I'm happy to send you a copy. Then you give them the link to go sign up for the training. They sign up, put their email address in, and then they have the opportunity to get started from there. So that's the first thing you've got to have is a sales process. You also need to know how to close over the phone or maybe even via messenger. I'm assuming that if you're already coaching, you know how to close a client, you know how to close over the phone, you know how to explain your impact to figure out where they are and what they want to do. But if you don't, then that's another video for another day, and we'll come to that later. So the very next thing that you need, the second thing that you need in order to go from offline coaching to online coaching is you've got to have systems. Offline, you can meet in person. You don't necessarily have to record your sessions, but maybe you can, and it's easy because you just put an audio recorder down. But when you're doing stuff online, number one, you want to really protect yourself as a coach, and you want to make sure you're recording your sessions. I like using Zoom in order to host my coaching calls, in order to record all of my sessions, and make sure that if I ever need to go back and say, this is what I said, then I have that opportunity to do that. So that's part of your systems that you're going to need for online coaching. So think of everything that you do offline, and you're going to need that for online. Signing contracts. I use a software called DocSketch in order to get my contract signed. It's not something that someone's going to be able to come into your office and sign. So you got to be able to send them a contract digitally, get it signed. You don't want them to have to worry about printing it out, scanning it, and sending it back. Send them something digitally. They can sign it online. It captures their IP address so we know that it was them because it was in their location. And now you've got your contract signed. You also need a shopping cart software. You need to be able to take payment from your coaching clients. I like using ThriveCart for my lower ticket stuff. So anything that's under $10,000, I'm typically going to use ThriveCart, or anything that I'm doing like a payment plan with. Over $10,000 for my higher level 5-figure clients, typically we're using QuickBooks, and I'm just sending an invoice so they can just pay that outright via a check or something like that, so that I don't get hit with those credit card processing fees, right? So you got to have that shopping cart. You've got to have a way for people to book a call. They might not necessarily be able to call in to your assistant. If you don't have an assistant that's working with you, why not just give them a link to your calendar? I've got several softwares that I use in order to book clients on my calendar. Right now I'm using a software called Mixmax because it integrates directly in my G Suite. But I've also used Acuity scheduling in the past. That's one that I highly recommend. I have an entire list of resources as well as special links if you would like to support the channel in that way. But I'll share with you all the marketing tools and resources that I use, as well as why I actually like them. So you should definitely go and check that out. The link is in the description, and you can go and check that out on my website right now. So those are the two things that you need in order to take your offline coaching business and move it online. You need a sales process, you need systems. For the sales process, let me go back really quickly for the sales process, because I did mention this, but I didn't tell you how you can create and set up your webinar. So if you're interested in learning about my process and how we take a client who might not even know who we are yet, bring them through that journey so that they're right away booking a call or sending a message so they can get more information, then you definitely want to check out my latest training. It's all about the client gaining system that turned $10,000 into $100,000. You can get more details if you go to youvegotclients.com so you can register for the absolutely free training, and you'll see exactly how that sales process works for yourself. Are you taking clients online? I'm curious to hear from you. Were you doing offline coaching and single sessions? Are you ready to package up your services and do more online coaching? Are you playing in this global market space? Are you staying home, remembering not to touch your face? Let me know. Let's chat. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.